Hello again, this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video 8A. I wanted to discuss more of the PHP primitive types I already did this on video 8, but there was some few things I missed. As I mentioned in one of my videos, that there are 10 primitive types. The one I want to talk about is the resource type. We also talked about null, which happens to be like this, null, right? And that's the other special type, just like the resource type. So remember, you can add no to a variable to signify that the variable doesn't have a value. I will use the same example. Remember that one when I did $state equals to no. Then I did $state 2 equals to nothing. Excuse me. Then I did 3, and I'm going to give it a space, like this guy. Then I would display them using the var dump. Remember that? I could just do this one too. $state 1. Let's save this. Let's run it. Why? Oh. There you go, right? Doesn't have anything because it's doing that first one. So if I wanted to var dump it, I could do it. Var underscore dump. Remember I mentioned that? $1. Just to let you know. Let's see. Save it. Run it. Null. Remember it just tells PHP just did this so that way we can create variables with nothing in it. You know what I mean? Not just this or that. Okay, matter of fact, let's dump them all. Let's do that one. That would be 2. This one, this will be 3. For more space, let's do this. Line break. You're going to be using a lot of line breaks. Let's say put it in there. Basically, that's it. See, gives you a string with a 0, saying that there's a 0 there. This is a strange thing, but that's what it tells you. And this one, because you have a space, it tells you, well, it's a string and it's 1. Now remember, I did something like, let's go over here and say PHP, like that. And if you run it, you're going to say that it's string and it's 5, right? Because it's 3 with 2 extra space. And then I also mentioned that during that time when you're doing sanitizing and validation, you're going to use, which we already done, the trim for that trims out your spaces. See, 3. Remember that? So we did the dump, right? So the resource type, as I mentioned, is a special variable that holds a reference to an external resource. I mentioned this on one of the videos, right? So we can use the get resource type function that returns the type of resource you're using. This one, remember, you can resource underscore type. Remember that one? We can use that. We can use the function called fopen. Remember fopen? I think I mentioned that too. Fopen to open a file. This is another way of opening a file. On one of my videos, I mentioned that you might get a permission denial error message when you're trying to do certain things with the fopen. Like for example, if you did, what was the name of that file? File name .text, and then you did this, and then you put W, semicolon. And then you want to apply it to, let's use the word hole, right? You want to do that. So if you open it, of course it doesn't do anything, right? We did that before, right? So we might get a message, a permission denied message. If you do, I already showed you how to add a permission to a file. If you forgot, here is how it's done. Go to the file that you're looking for. Let's say, for instance, let's just try this guy, right? Then what you do is you right click it. See, it says here, get info, and you're gonna get this dialog box, right? Then over here it says at the bottom right here, sharing and permission. You will see 3 usernames and privilege, right? Like these are the privilege for staff, anyone, and me, right? So if this would have been like read only and you would have gotten the permission denial, then what you do is before you can change it, you must click on that small little yellow lock. So you click on this. You have to wait for a second. There you go. And then you put in your password. This is the password when you logging onto your machine. I hope I put the right password. Yes, it did. See? Now you see how it was before that you couldn't see this like highlighted or bold, if you will, right? And what you have to do is come here. Here you go. And change it. See? Read it and change it. And now when it's done, just click this back to close it up. Now you'll be able to do certain things with this file. All right, that's just something I mentioned that before, but I'm glad I mentioned it again, just in case you forgot. Now you can continue, right, with this particular command. So let's say, what should I say? I could continue. Resource underscore type. And then we're going to take this command, this $hold. We're going to put it in here. And that sounds good. And then, let's see. Let's save it. And this stream. This tells you when you open this up and you open it for Y, this will become a stream of this. And that's what the get resource type is. You know what I mean? That's what gives you that information. If it would have been something else, it will be, I don't know. Let's try something. Since I'm using version 7 and not version 8, the stuff that I'm going to do right now, which is, let's try C equals to curl. That's just a function, right? And it just initializes the curl process, because in this, I'm going to talk about more about this curl, the whole thing, like how to call a website, a URL, and get that information. Not like that other one that we talked about before. Okay, so this does the job. It's really fantastic. Is you could create your HTML with all the nice design, and then you could pull in another website right into it. But we're gonna, in another video, we're gonna talk all about that. So for now, let's do this. Let's echo get underscore resource type. Yeah, I'm gonna do something. Let me see. Let's put this just in case. Let me see. So we're gonna take this. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna run it. See, curl. Because you're using a curl for function. It's one of those things that uses that calls in. Right now, this is initializing it, but it's you assigned it to the variable C. Now we want to get what the resource type is, and it tells you that it's curl. It's just stupid, really, but there's a lot of things you can do with it if you need to. You just have to. We're going to talk about this. You'll see what I'm talking about later on. Well, we reached the end, and if you enjoyed this video and you learned about primitive type resources and Null again, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This will help grow my channel. Until next time, a good night.